First things first, let's talk about the NPCs. The people who seem to just be floating through life without ever questioning what the hell they're doing. They follow the script. They take their orders. They punch the clock, and that's it. And here's the kicker. They're not supposed to wake up. The system needs them in place. Without them, everything would fall apart. No chaos would be created. Without that contrast, the real players, those with souls, they wouldn't even have a game to play. So the NPCs, they're like the game's background music. They're the static noise that holds the universe steady while you, the player, wake up and play the game with full consciousness. You need contrast to see yourself, to understand who you are and what you're capable of. Without that contrast, you'd be lost. Imagine walking through a dark room. How do you know where the walls are if you can't feel them? How do you know what light feels like if it's never dark? The NPCs aren't the enemy. They're the training wheels of existence. They help the game stabilize, and you're meant to break through the illusion, challenge the programming, and evolve to something more. Here's the deal. You already know how to tell who's awake and who's stuck in their programs. It's easy. You feel it in your bones. You trust your gut. You're out there in the world noticing the people who seem like they're on autopilot, living their lives by repeating lines they've heard, by following the same predictable patterns. They never ask themselves, why am I here? What's the point of this? That's because they're not supposed to. If you're asking yourself those questions, you're awake. That's the signal. You're in the game. Now here's where it gets fun. What happens if you stop looking at life from the surface? What if you peel back the layers and start paying attention to the energy beneath the people's words, their behaviours, their reactions? Trust your intuition. Energy doesn't lie. The person who seems emotionally flat, whose responses seem pre-programmed, whose reactions are always the same no matter the situation, they're stuck in the loop. And guess what? They don't even know it. Their job is to keep the world running in a predictable pattern. They hold the space for the awakened ones to see themselves. They keep the matrix humming. You're the soul bearer. You're the one who's meant to break free, to ask the hard questions, to push back against the system. You're not here just to exist. You're here to experience, create, and evolve. To remind the world of its deeper purpose. When you ask, what's this all about? What's my real purpose here? You're not just wandering aimlessly. You're learning. You're questioning, deep diving, peeling back the layers, and finding more. You don't repeat the same old lines like everyone else. You don't just parrot what others say. You look around and say, wait a minute, something's off. That question is a gift. It's the spark that starts the fire. You're meant to dig deeper. And when you do, you start breaking the system open. And when you start breaking the system, the world starts changing. Yeah, that's the ripple effect. You started. You're the one that makes it shift. One soul can ripple change across the masses. And that is why the system fears you. Now here's the real magic. You're not just here to see the game. You're here to change the game. And you're already doing it. You've got the power to disrupt the patterns. Look, every time you make a choice that breaks the norm, that challenges the comfortable little box the world tries to fit you in, you disrupt the flow. It's like throwing a rock into a calm lake. The ripples spread. Every time you make a decision based on truth and love instead of convenience or fear, you shift reality. You're essentially reprogramming your own energy field. And guess what? That's contagious. The art of disruption, how you do it. Awareness. You're already aware. You're already noticing the moments when something feels off. When someone's scripted. Or someone's trying to distract you. You can feel it. That's your superpower. Discernment. Next, you discern whether to engage or not. You don't waste energy on the wrong things. That's the biggest mistake, getting sucked into pointless drama. But guess what? When you trust your gut, when you step back and ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? You start to see through the bullshit. You become like a filter, processing energy with razor-sharp precision. Intuition. Your intuition is your ally. You know when it's time to step back, let go, and move forward. You know when someone's not quite right, or when something feels a little too perfect or smooth. Don't second guess it. When your intuition tells you that something's off, trust that signal. Break the pattern. If someone is trying to play you or throw you off your course, throw a wrench in their pattern. Disrupt it. You don't have to get aggressive or violent about it. Just change the script. The more unexpected you are, the more their game gets thrown off. If you don't start playing the game with intention, the system stays stagnant. That means those NPCs win. It means society remains asleep and you remain stuck. You'll stay in that loop. You'll be pulled into the drama, the distractions and the noise. And you'll lose yourself if you continue to stay passive or ungrounded in your truth. You give your energy away without realizing it. But the more you choose to disrupt, to wake up and trust yourself, that's how you start to create the life you want. The game isn't out there, it's in you. The moment you decide to reclaim your energy, to break the pattern, to act from your truth, your life shifts. Here's the thing. Your brain is a master of patterns. It loves repetition. But guess what? When you break that pattern, your brain has to reorganize itself. It has to learn. And every time it learns, it grows. So when you question things, when you challenge the status quo, you're literally forcing your brain to evolve. That's how you expand. The science behind it, neuroplasticity, when you break a pattern, you're creating new neural pathways. And guess what? That's exactly how transformation happens. You're not just rewiring your thoughts. You're rewiring your entire reality. And that's how you break free from the system. So what's the bottom line? Own your truth. Stop being passive. Start questioning everything. Challenge the norm and trust your gut. You've got the power to disrupt the world around you with a single shift in consciousness. And it all starts with you. Trust yourself. Take control. And let's change the thing. Because one awake soul can move mountains.